Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into some really fantastic wisdom for Christian newlyweds, and it all comes from Teresa Kay's blog, Sunshine and Faith Evermore. We're going to look at marriage a little differently. Think of it like a huge construction project, one that needs a really solid, intentional plan to get it right. So let's unroll the blueprint for building a strong, Christ-centered covenant.
It is a huge undertaking, right? You're not just moving your stuff into one place, you're merging two lives, two entire histories, all your habits, the good and the, well, not so good. So with a project this big, the million-dollar question is, where in the world do you start? Well, like any good construction project, you start with the blueprint.
So first things first, let's talk about the vision. Before you lay a single brick or hammer a single nail, you have to know what you're building. You have to really get a feel for the architect's original design.
Okay, this is the most critical part of the whole vision. You have to understand that marriage isn't just a social contract or a piece of paper. It's a covenant, and it was designed by God. That first year you have together, it's this unique, absolutely critical window of time. It's your chance to intentionally lay a foundation of faith, love, and grace that's going to provide stability for decades to come. And this isn't something that just happens by accident. It takes a conscious, daily effort to make sure it really flourishes.
All right, with that vision crystal clear, it's time to actually start laying the foundation. And on our blueprint, the foundation has two components that are absolutely non-negotiable: the cornerstone and the mortar that's going to hold everything together.
Communication is your cornerstone, and we're not talking about just winning arguments or being right. This is the main tool you have for creating real, true intimacy. The whole goal is to make your words a reflection of Christ's love and grace. That means you have to build a daily habit of truly talking and, maybe even more importantly, truly listening. When your spouse feels heard and valued and respected, man, the entire structure just gets stronger.
So if communication is that big, solid cornerstone, then prayer is the spiritual mortar that binds it all together. When you pray together as a couple, you're literally inviting God to be right there in the center of your union. It is such a powerful practice. It helps you find the grace to forgive, it guides you in your big decisions, and it's a constant reminder that you never, ever face your challenges alone.
Okay, a solid foundation is in place. So now we can start framing the interior of the house. These are the elements that really make this structure feel like a home, the things that provide strength and warmth from the inside out.
Just think of encouragement as the reinforcement beams in your relationship. When you actively affirm your spouse, when you tell them what you love about them or why you're so proud of them, you are literally fortifying your bond. And it doesn't have to be some big, complicated thing. A simple text, a little note left on the counter. These small, intentional acts of love are just incredibly powerful.
And that flows right into appreciation, which is really the art of cultivating joy. It's all about consciously recognizing that your spouse is a precious gift from God, and then voicing it, saying thank you for the little things like making the coffee or just being a steady support, is what prevents you from taking each other for granted. A grateful heart is like the furnace that keeps the whole home warm and filled with contentment.
Now, every single well-built home needs protection from the elements, both the ones outside and the ones that can pop up inside. So let's look at how to protect this sanctuary that you're building together.
Healthy boundaries, they're like the walls and the roof of your home. They honor God by protecting the sacred space of your marriage. This means you have to carefully balance your commitments to friends, to family, to work, so you can prevent stress, but you're always prioritizing your relationship above everything else. It just ensures you both have the space to be yourselves without ever compromising your union.
And because every structure has to be able to withstand some pressure, compromise is what provides that essential flexibility. Look, you both come from different backgrounds, different families, so disagreements are pretty much guaranteed. The key is to completely abandon a win-or-lose mindset. This is not a competition, it's a partnership. You're working together, as a team, plain and simple.
Sometimes even the strongest structures need a little maintenance or an expert opinion to make sure they stay sound. And that's not a sign that the building is failing, it's a sign of really wise ownership.
And that's exactly why seeking help is a sign of incredible strength, not weakness. Every single marriage is going to face challenges. There is just immense wisdom in seeking out guidance from trusted sources, whether that's a pastor, a Christian counselor, or some godly mentors. Surrounding yourselves with a faith-filled community like that equips you with the tools you need to navigate any storm.
So, what does it all look like when it comes together? Let's take a look at the home you're building, but always remembering that it's a lifelong project of love and care. It's never really finished.
This is the beautiful result of following that blueprint. When you prioritize communication and prayer, encouragement and appreciation, boundaries and compromise, these are the elements that create a joyful, unified marriage. Your shared commitment to each other and to Christ, that becomes the bedrock foundation that will sustain your love for a lifetime.
So as we finish up, I really want to leave you with this question. Looking at this blueprint that we just walked through together, what's the very first step, the first brick, that you and your spouse can lay together today?